Jonathan, how are you?
Good, how about you?
Doing very well. Thanks for joining me.
Yes, it's gonna be just me. The other guys are busy, so
Oh, hey, no worries. Let's have a one-on-one.
awesome.
So are you in Indiana right now?
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah, I'm actually originally from the Midwest. I'm from Michigan, so I
Oh,
kind
really?
kind of miss the Midwest. Growing up, I thought it was boring, like nothing to do. But now that I live in Boston, it's kind of like, oh, I kind of miss the laid-back vibe of the Midwest.
Yeah, no, I used to be that way too, but I don't know. I like it more because I don't know, it's variety, I guess, in the seasons too. Because I like the cold and I like the warm.
Yeah. But how's everything going with you guys? You guys have some exciting stuff coming up, with the new single and teaming up with Max Bemis. So can you talk a little bit about that and how exciting that was?
Yeah, so it's actually kind of funny with the way that this record started going. So we started recording it back in like 2018, and then I don't know what happened, it kind of fell apart. So we were like, okay, we'll throw it out. We'll start a whole new record. And, we got rid of some of the old ones and started some new ones. And actually, the one that we did with Max Bemis is one of the newer ones. And when we wrote it, we actually kind of had him in mind. It was because Singing Thing's been a big inspiration, like for me specifically, like all growing up, all throughout high school. I was listening to like Is a Real Boy and Defense, and I was following like all their new albums coming out since 2012. So um, we had that in mind when we wrote that song. And I was like, oh, he'd be really, really cool on there. And so we hit him up, and he wrote his own part too on that bridge. So he gave it to us. We're like, oh, that's super cool. And it's definitely super surreal because he's been one of my idols in music for like ever. So
Oh, that's really cool. So you had no connection with him before. You're just like, let's just reach out to him and see what he says.
yeah, sometimes you don't realize that, like, hey, people will, you just got to ask sometimes and things happen.
Yeah. Yeah, that goes to show, it's better to try than, to just say, oh, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's always worth a shot. That's awesome.
And then we actually have I know we're planning on releasing some more stuff throughout all the way up till summer too. So I mean, we're pretty excited about it. We're pretty stoked. It's kind of like a new way to kind of redefine ourselves too.
Yeah, so you guys had the EP later this year.
Yeah, so it's going to be 9 tracks. We're planning on releasing another single here early April, and then we'll do another one the next month. And I believe we're planning on dropping the whole album on July, which I don't think we've said that yet till just now. So,
Oh, okay. Very cool, July.
hmm
That's a good month. So I know you guys are kind of influenced by bands like Blink 182 and, the Main. I was just going back. Were you guys, growing up in the era of TRL and, watching music videos on TV?
So actually, we all just kind of missed that era.
Oh,
So
okay.
what happened was, but that's kind of where a lot of my influences do come from. I mean, I feel like I should have been born like 5 years earlier than I was, because then I would have hit all that. But my sister actually really liked all that stuff, and that's why we listen to all that stuff that we do. Because I ended up being like, hey guys, check this out. So we do listen to more of that. Like I mostly like that 2000, 2005 kind of era of music. And a lot of the guys like a lot more, this last decade, 2010s and up. But we all kind of like everything. But I mostly inspired like the MySpace era. That's probably what I jam with the most.
Nice. Yeah, I was just remembering, the days of, watching TRL, and because these days, if you want to watch a music video, it's right at your fingertips. But I remember when I
Yeah.
was like 12 or 13, it was so exciting to rush home to watch TRL, because if you wanted to see a music video before YouTube, it was like you had to make it home at the right time to see the music video, and there's something special about that. And I remember the
um,
music video for All the Small Things by Blink 182, and that music video was so entertaining.
See, for me, it was, I remember getting ready for school, and my sister would be playing Fuse and like having things like Sugar We're Going Down playing and all that kind of stuff. Or that, I don't know what that one song is called, but it had the music video with that little radio dude jamming on the street. I don't remember what the song was though.
I think I know what you're talking about, but yeah, I'm blanking on the name.
Probably it played like all the time, or it played like the Gorillas Feel Good Inc. and stuff. It always playing the same things over and over again.
So, do you guys have plans to create and shoot a music video, or is that going to be like further down the line?
So we do have more videos. So we did shoot another video. Actually, we've shot 2 videos that we haven't released yet. When we did it like a couple weeks ago, we shot one back in January, and we plan on shooting another one here in the next couple months. So we want to do a total of like 4 videos for the whole album. It's a 9-song album, so 4 videos, about half of them. We think they're pretty cool too, but we'll have to see. I mean, one of them is more simpler than the other one. I think this first one we did was probably like the most like story driven. You know, it had like a little beeline story going for this first single we did. So the other ones, you know, I think they'll be cool, but we'll just see how they come out. We're still waiting to get the final product for most of them. So
that's good. Yeah, I really like story driven music videos, but I know they require more time and
yeah. Well, you know. I mean, we thought so too until we did our first one, and you know, it took one day. We had one guy come up here. You know, his name's Alex Zarek, and he's actually pretty awesome. It took 8 hours for us to shoot a whole video, live shots, and the B-roll footage and stuff too, and it turned out really good. So
I guess you found the right guy to do it.
He does a lot of Chicagoland area bands, so I know he's done like Belmont videos, and I know he just recently did this local band called Cleveland Avenue, but he does a lot of stuff. He's like the guy that shoots videos over in our area.
The guy, nice. So do you do most of the songwriting for the band, or is it kind of like a group effort?
So the way it kind of goes is I'll start writing a song, whether it be lyrics and guitar or just guitar. I do all the lyrics and the vocal writing myself, and go from there. But yeah, it's more so me and him that do with those the other guys. They definitely. Where'd you go? Oh, there you go. Okay. Sorry, like my screen shot out.
Yeah, the audio seems to be a little choppy right now, but
they'll add all their extra stuff, and you hear me better now?
Yeah, I think I can hear you better now.
Okay, cool. Okay. But then the other guys, they'll go ahead and they'll throw in their parts too, and they'll kind of add all that extra candy and flair to make it a little more interesting, you know, like lead guitars and bass. And then our producer, when we go in there too, he'll actually kind of tweak and kind of put his own little stamp on it too as well. So, but yeah, it's kind of a process. It usually starts with me and ends with the guys.
Very cool. Do you remember like the very first song you ever wrote?
Very first song I ever wrote was, I think I was 14, and I was in our high school band with most of the guys that were in this band. We just kind of changed our name and kind of swapped out some members. I think I called it the best of us, best for us, I think is what it was called. And it was about the first girlfriend I had when she broke up with me over spring break in freshman year.
Oh, that's so sad.
I remember I was at my buddy's house, his mom's house, and I was like, man, I can't believe she broke up with me, and we wrote a song about it. And it was the first song I ever wrote from start to finish. So,
did she ever hear it? Do you know?
We never recorded it, but I believe we ended up getting back together at one point, I think. And then I told her I wrote this nasty song about you, and she's like, "Oh, it's fine." Yeah, needless to say, we're not together anymore.
Well, maybe you can always revisit the song and like put a new spin on it.
We were thinking about it. We actually were jamming through some of our old songs at one point with our old band. We're like, hey, some of these are still kind of bangers. We should look at them again one day.
Yeah, it's always funny to like find things that you wrote a long time ago and just be like, whoa, I wrote this. Or like something like I totally forgot about, but then once I see it again, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this.
A lot of times when I'm going through stuff like that, I'm like, oof, like I can't believe I wrote that. But a lot of the time the music sounds really cool, but like I'll hate the lyrics or I'll hate the vocal melody. I'm like, I don't understand. I'm like, I didn't know what I was doing back then, but like, how'd I write this sick guitar riff instead of this, and this vocal line super not catchy? It's like, that's usually how I feel about it. The lyrics, it's like, oh, obviously I wrote that when I was, 14, 15 years old, and I was super angsty and sad all the time, but you know, I mean, they're usually pretty cool. And like I said, I had a lot of songs that I've written throughout my life that I just have thrown away because they just were not that great. It's like you have to get some of that out of you though before you get to the good stuff.
Yeah, and then you can see your progress.
It's fun. It's nice because we've been in a couple bands, so I feel like we get better every time we release new music. Personally, I feel like everyone says that though.
Oh, well, hopefully that's the case. Do you have any bands that you're kind of dying to hit the road with once concerts can happen again?
I mean, obviously, everyone would love to tour with those bigger bands, but I know we were trying to plan some like local kind of runs with a couple bands. I haven't heard of them doing anything recently, but if there was like dream bands like that were more attainable for us to tour with, obviously, we always thought the early November would be super sick to tour with. As it is, we feel like we're pretty darn close, like to their sound style too. As it is, it'd be pretty dope to tour with. But I mean, from the UK, and they don't tour the US all the time. I would love to tour with Silverstein one day. I know they're a little bit harder than we are, but that's like one of my favorite artists too. So, but in terms of like actually touring, we're not sure because I don't know what's going to happen because when everything opens back up, everyone's going to be on tour. And there's not going to be anywhere. No one's going to come see us. They're going to go see all those bands I've been waiting to see for 2 years.
That's not true.
Well, hopefully we'll see what happens though. I know like, I'm going to be seeing a lot of those bands that I wanted to see for 2 years.
Yeah, it's going to be strange. Like how are venues? It's probably going to be stressful for the venues because everyone's going to be like scrambling to get the open dates, and it's like who do they give it to first? You know.
I think they're going to be. I think there's going to be a lot of festivals coming up because you can see a lot of them trying. I think they're going to try to do festivals and see how that goes and get every band to play at least once. But I don't have enough money to see them.
No, I definitely want more rock festivals because there's one in the UK called Call of the Wilds, and the lineup is sick. It's like that needs to happen here in the US.
Was that just announced recently? I feel like I saw that. It was
I think it was just announced. It's supposed to take place in July. I think July 11th.
I do remember seeing that now. I remember being pretty bummed that I can't go to that.
I know, and someone needs to bring it over here.
We'll see what happens. Hopefully, we'll have shows next year or late this year.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. Well, is there anything else that you can tell us about the EP? Is it very high energy or?
It's definitely a little mix of everything. I think the singles that we'll be putting out kind of like give that feeling of what the album will be. So like our first one is like a pop punk bop. Our second one is more along the lines of that 2006, 2007 emo, phase that we like. And then the next one we're releasing is a little more of an indie kind of pop rock kind of deal. So it's going to be, I would say it's high energy, but it's definitely got some darker tones to it. Overall, I would say it's a nice mix. You'll be happy and sad and not really understand what you're feeling while you're listening to it.
Huh. That's good. So it's going to like take people on a journey a little bit.
Thematically, it's kind of darker though, overall. Like even one of our most happy songs on there isn't necessary. But overall, the album will be coming out in July. I think we still have a working title for. We'll have to see that when it comes out. But we'll be releasing songs every month until then. I know. So the next one is going to be coming out April 2nd. I don't know. I don't remember what we're doing for the one in May, but we plan on releasing at least 3-4 more songs before the whole album drops. And then hopefully everyone's kind of on the bandwagon when it comes out, or we get more people coming on it by then. So we'll have to see.
Definitely. Well, I really appreciate your time, Jonathan. It's been a blast chatting with you, and hopefully, you know,
Well,
you guys can hit the road as soon as coronavirus has disappeared forever. We can catch
one
you
day.
in Boston.
Well, I'm hoping so. And I really appreciate taking the time to do this. It was really cool. I mean, it's fun talking about it, and I'm hoping people will be. Look, I hope you guys.
Yeah, thanks so much. Enjoy the rest of your day.
All right. Well, you too. Thank you.